Okay, Prof. So we have 3 minutes to join.
Okay.
Prof, just nak tanya sikit, how we enroll at the GMI, Prof?
Students to enroll senang je. Normally kita punya web page, Mr. Sukumar.
Okay.
Web page GMI, www.gmi.edu.my. Dalam web page tu dah ada link how to enroll for our program.
Okay, so all SPM leavers or what? How? Is it SPM leavers ke PT3 ke?
SPM leavers, not PT3.
SPM leavers lah.
Kita ambil kita punya intake untuk diploma, SPM leavers dan juga the SKM.
SKM, okay.
SKM 3 also masuk pelajar daripada SKM 3, sama ada from IKM, from anybody yang dapat di SKM 3 boleh masuk, dan juga the SPM untuk register to diploma.
Dia ada qualification SPM berapa kredit ke apa semua?
SPM you just require 4 kredit je.
I see, just 4 kredit lah.
4 kredit, yes. Not, but kita ada 2 program. Lagi satu I mentioned to you about the A-level. The A-level program is quite special because the A-level program, students datang ke GMI, they study A-level plus German language to prepare them to go to German universities directly.
I see. On what subject they be sent to?
The A-level, they are taking basically A-level, they're taking mathematics, chemistry, physics, and also now new subject, the Cambridge is introduced, they panggil probability and statistics.
I see.
And so plus the German language, so they qualify to enter the German universities.
Okay. So bachelor tu what engineering bachelor lah kat sana German.
Majority yes, engineering di German universities, ya, betul.
Okay. So we will start exactly Prof and Tuan Haji 1 minute more. So when exactly 3 o'clock, Syamimi will open dia punya Facebook nanti.
Okay,
so we will go online. So I will start the session. Okay, welcoming all the participants for this session. Then I will introduce Tuan Haji. Then Tuan Haji, I will hand over Tuan Haji. Tuan Haji will start to introduce Professor. Then after that, Professor will start sharing his subject matter.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Syamimi, I think going to be 3 o'clock. You can open the link. Because when we open the link, then we see the participant joining us, is it? Okay, we have another 2 minutes. Let the participant join us.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Already 43 now, so waiting for some more to join us. So we give them 2 minutes. We will start exactly 3:05 or earlier than that.
So Mr. Suguma, before we start, happy Deepavali.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Nanti lupa pula.
But unfortunately, everybody have to stay back at our own location.
Oh, yes. This year is MCO Deepavali lah, bro. We have another 1 minute before we go online on this session. Okay, I think we can start the session. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our PLWS webinar session 2020 with the title of Developing Future Talent Through TVET. And we have two distinguished guests today. One is our moderator, Tuan Haji Riwayat bin Mansur, Managing Director of Andal Group. And we have another distinguished speaker, Professor IR Dr. Azmi bin Hassan, the Managing Director of German Malaysian Institute, GMI. Before we go further, I will briefly introduce our moderator today. Okay, our moderator, IR Haji Riwayat, is the Managing Director of Andal Group with core business focus in the area of mechanical and electrical engineering consultancy and also a corporate management consultancy. He also has been appointed as MPC Associates since 2013. He has vast experience serving reputable multinational corporations for almost 30 years. In the last 15 years of his career, he held senior leadership positions such as a vice president, a general manager. Apart from local experience, he also worked in United States and China for an extended period of time, and was also managing global operations such as Malaysia, China, India, Mexico, Brazil, and Hungary for a very large multinational organization. Ladies and gentlemen, his expertise in the area of business and corporate management and very conversant with Lean Six Sigma, strategy management, business processes, re-engineering, performance management, total quality management, to name a few. IR Riwayat graduated with Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering from Boston University, Massachusetts, USA, and then obtained his Master's in Business Administration from UUM, Malaysia. But he never gave up. No, he want to further his studies in PhD. Currently, Tuan Haji is pursuing his PhD in organizational development. With a vast and very experienced moderator today, together with him is our speaker. So I think, as everybody knows, that with the current budget 2021, government talking about how you transform our economy to be more developed, or we call it how you want to coming out from this COVID impact. And as everybody knows that managing human capital is very, very important. And in one of the initiatives under the budget 2021 is that toward digitalization and also reskilling and upskilling. And we're talking about skilling, we cannot run away about the TVET. I think that's why I think GMI play a very important role to transform our human resource to be more competent and skillful employee to face uncertain challenges due to COVID-19. I think today's platform play a very important role to get some feedback and experience from our distinguished speaker, Professor Azmi bin Hassan, who are managing GMI. And GMI, as everybody knows, is one of the leading institutions that embark on creating more talent labor force in terms of skill and so on. I think without further ado, no, I hand over to Tuan Haji as a moderator here. Tuan Haji, hand over to you, Tuan Haji.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Suku.
Okay, thank you, Ji.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Good evening to all viewers and also attendees. Again, thank you, Mr. Sugu, for giving me the opportunity to become the moderator today for this very important topic. For the information of the participant and audience, Mr. Sugu, or his full name is Mr. Suguma Saminathan. He is the Director of Productivity Link Wage System, PLWS, in MPC. His working experience is more than 25 years in the area of productivity and wages. So very conversant about productivity, wages, and stuff like that as well. Thank you all the attendees and participants for making the time to attend this webinar, an interesting webinar on topic that I consider vital for our country in charting the direction going forward. Yeah. Again, my name is Riwayat, and I'm the moderator as introduced by Mr. Sugu just now. This webinar will be moderated in bilingual, so we can use English and Bahasa Malaysia. And similarly, later on, if you have any question, you can either ask in English and Bahasa Malaysia. Don't worry, yeah. So actually, today's webinar is one of many series that has been organized by MPC. And the title or the subject of the talk today is Developing Future Talent through TVET. Yeah. But before we proceed further, let's clear a few housekeeping items first. In order to ensure smooth flow of the webinar, all participants will be put on mute. If you have any question, there is a question section for you to utilize in the control panel. The question, however, will be posted either depending on the time, it will be posted to the speaker during the presentation, or most likely we will post this question to the speaker after the end of the presentation. Again, like I said, the question can be in both languages, Malay and English. So don't worry if you are more comfortable in Malay, please ask in Malay, or or if you are comfortable in English, then do so in English. If the time doesn't permit for all the questions to be answered at the end of the session, so we may choose to respond them by email or WhatsApp. Please leave this information so that we can respond you later if we cannot respond during this webinar. Okay, with us today, we have a very distinguished individual. We are very fortunate. Yeah, he is very intimate with TVET. He will be sharing his knowledge and insight on TVET landscape and also the development of the future talent through TVET in order to support the business and also the industry going forward. Yeah? Allow me to introduce our speaker today, Mr. or rather Professor IR Dr. Azmi bin Hassan. He has very impressive profile. However, due to time constraint, I'll share a brief background about him. His academic qualification, he received a Bachelor of Engineering in Manufacturing System Engineering from Leeds Metropolitan University in the UK in 1991. And then subsequently, he obtained his PhD from University of Wales in Cardiff, yeah, in 1996. In 1997 to 2005, he was made Associate Professor at the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. And in 2005 to 2007, he was seconded to Prime Minister's Department and also Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, in charge of several Government of Malaysia's projects, namely on Malaysia Microchip Project. Yeah? Later, he was appointed as Managing Director of SenseTech Sdn Bhd to promote and develop RFID applications until 2013. And currently, he is the Managing Director of GMI, German Malaysian Institute, under seconded scheme from UniKL. Yeah? At UniKL, he is the Professor in Electrical, Electronics and Automation, University in Kulim, MISI in Kulim. His research interests on intelligent manufacturing and also optimization and RFID application. He has published more than 150 papers in reviewed journals and proceedings and chapter in books. He has several patents on RFID and intelligent control. Okay, so without further ado, please, I would like to invite Prof. Dr. Azmi Hassan to share with us the topic of developing future talent through TVET Initiative Malaysia. Prof, please share your insight with us.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good afternoon. Thank you very much for very comprehensive introductions to AR Haji Riwayat, the moderator this afternoon. So I would like also to take this opportunity to express my appreciations to Malaysia Productivity Corporation, MPC, for inviting me to participate in this PLWS webinar 2020. So the topic is given to me, the developing future talent through TVET. So the question is that why we need to discuss this topic. I think this is basically the importance. It's good for me to mention recently the decision of the government to freeze the recruitment of foreign workers. Basically, this is the best way to deal with the current employment situations in Malaysia. And in fact, if I may quote the president of Malay Chamber of Commerce, DPMM, Encik Abdul Halim mentioned, said it was a time to put the people of local employers in their employment. So there is no need to rely fully on the foreign workers. So in Malaysia, we have more skilled workers than the low skilled foreign workers. So in this case, we believe that the businesses can also adapt the technology to ensure that the level of employment can be improved. So in fact, he was commenting the statement by the minister, the Human Resource Minister. So in fact, the government shouldn't give too much room and too much allowance to recruit the foreign workers. Yeah. So at the same time, I may quote also the president of Malaysian SME Association, Datuk Michael Kang, also mentioned that Malaysia needs to readjust and align our human resources in the country with new business models and knowledge. Yeah, and I'm quite sure this through TVET we can actually bring this future talent in Malaysia. Yeah. So in fact, if I may go to the next slide. On the next slide, the word TVET by itself, the technical and vocational. This is basically the main part that our discussion, TVET, technical and vocational. The first part, and then the other part is the education and training, which is referred to the ET. So this is two issues here, technical and vocational. Normally we discuss this from the demand side. This basically the needs by the industry. They are the one that should come up with the knowledge, the skills required, before actually our candidates or even the trainer go to the industries. Yeah. And then the other part, basically the education and training. This is basically another part. This basically refer to this on the supply side. Of course, the academic institutions, the technical institutions, even universities are providing this education and training. So if you can look from this, there's the requirement on the technical and vocational to make sure that we fulfill the needs by the industry, and then the role of the academic institution or the technical institution to provide the relevant education and also training. Maybe the training itself is not good enough. The education by itself is not enough. They must come together. Okay. So if you look at from Malaysia, it is indeed for us to have the highly skilled human resource to close the presence of the demand and supply gap between these two in various industries, particularly those driving the economic transformations. So the government has determined that the technical and vocational and education and training sector as the main route in providing the highly skilled human resources, and also one of the key drivers of the economy for Malaysia to become the high income nations. Yeah. So there is a need for us to go and to strengthen the TVET. And then of course we know that the TVET has been widely acknowledged in numerous countries due to technical innovation and globalizations. The mean here is to achieve the better income, and at the same time also we expect to reduce the unemployment also. So in this case, TVET, the Mr. Moderator, we are referring to the hands-on learning, or in fact in the future I would like to call, especially in the era of Industry 4.0, we might not call hands-on learning anymore. We might call the finger-on learning, because most of the thing actually we just with a touch of the button.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we have to change later on. No longer hands-on training. Yeah.
Fingers on. Yeah.
The finger-on okay. Because for the practical purposes. Yeah. Learning by carry out some productive activities and using the state-of-art technologies. In fact, I will elaborate a bit later. Yeah. So at the same time, also we have should have the immediate experience in the development process and the product innovations. Yeah. So this is basically the skill set in general about the TVET. And the other portions, maybe I think we also realize this TVET also. The opportunity for us to go and acquire or to provide the soft skill components also. Yeah. Example, the communication skills, the ability to work in teams, under the real life working condition. This is basically the thing that actually we should inculcate. Actually, normally the TVET education will provide this. Yeah. So learning through the training alliance, taking up certain activities immediately after doing the complete of the TVET training. This basically, in fact, we carry out also in our typical TVET institutions. Yeah.
Prof, yeah, yes. Okay. Allow me to interject a bit. I don't know whether you just allude to that as well just now, but this is with regards to this. It says here in this slide, it says that TVET in Malaysia, the study of technologies and related sciences, as well as acquisition of practical skills, attitudes, understanding. I want to latch on the attitude. So when we talk about attitude, how does TVET inculcate this attitude learning and all that? Was that through what you mentioned just now about teamwork and stuff like that, or is much more than that? Can you elaborate on that one a bit?
Yeah, like I did mention, thank you very much, Riwayat. Yeah, of course, like I did elaborate just now. TVET, we might say this basically, very hands-on training and so on, but we also inculcate the soft skill. In fact, the attitude itself, basically, this is a part of the soft skill actually we inculcate during our training. That's why I did mention about the communication skills, the ability to work in the team, because to improve, because normally we carry out some of the technical skill, and then plus the students must be able to work in the proper teamwork. They must have some real project or the design project or even production project work in the team to improve this basically the attitude. Yeah. So this basically the thing that normally we embedded the technical skills plus also the soft skills for the TVET training also.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Prof.
If I may go to the next slide. In TVET, of course, some of the action plans in Malaysia, of course, we have already laid out. We have a number of activities, in Malaysia. Yeah, we did mention previously the TVET program in Malaysia. We offer the certificate, we offer a diploma, we offer a degree, And to a certain extent, some universities also are providing this at a higher level, or sometimes we call it a higher TVET, especially in University Kuala Lumpur, for example, they call it his TVET, yeah, at the master level. This, you know, the certifications, the diploma under the engineering technology program, of course, we also aware this TVET program also been certified under the M board or the board of engineer also under the engineering technology scheme. Yeah. However, if you go to the next slide, this basically I want to mention. This basically is some of the typical thing. But as far as the TVET implementation, they must have some issues and challenges. Yeah, issues and challenges. If I may go, yeah, okay. So we might mention this. I want to stress about the commitment from the industries. And also, of course, on the government, I will mention to you, the government are fully committed toward this. In fact, during RMK 11 and also RMK 12, we can see TVET is considered one of the important initiative under the government. But the commitment from industry, especially to give full support, because we have to understand the TVET implementation is not easy. We did project previously also based on the data. We expect by 2020 this year, we should have in the range of 220,000 TVET trainer. But the way I look at it from the academic institution or even the technical institutions, I think the number, I think we don't achieve to that yet. The number of students enrolled to TVET is still considered very, very low. Yeah, so we need to find the formula from both sides. Either, you know, because of maybe in terms of once a student graduated, we know whether they can go to the industries and then they go to the right industry, basically we need to discuss also. That's basically the challenges. The second thing I want to stress, as for the TVET implementation is concerned about updating of training equipments and technology to stay relevant, especially in the era of the Industry 4.0. Because we have to understand, in fact, from my experience in a couple of universities, I can say most of our equipments basically irrelevant in the era of RR 2.0 or 3.0. Basically at the levels of the semi-automated or even fully automated, but not yet ready for fully integrated and interconnected. You know, we can have, for example, even we might have our own equipment in the technical institution, fully automated system. We could have the CNC machines, we could have the robotic machines and so on. Excuse me. However, all this is not interconnected. So, and then this, I think, basically the challenge. As well as TVET institutions, we need to also look in this area also. Yeah. And then at the same time, also we also need to look on terms of the capital intensive investment, especially on the human capital. We need to also look on this aspect to make sure that the trainer is fully trained, to make sure that they also understand the requirements of the TVET aspect. And then the fourth item I want to mention also, these are basically the challenges. I want to stress this one much early before we go any further. Yeah, the strong governance on TVET program. I did mention there is no centralized body to administer this the progress of TVET implementation. We need to look in this area. Yeah, this is basically some of the challenges as we move forward, especially for the RMK 12. Yeah, and in my small dot, I also like to propose, you know, we should have the proper international partnerships with the international party, for example, you know, the industry from German. Yeah, and then for the TVET also, I think probably we need to also restructure the implementation, not only focus on the certificate and also the diploma. Maybe we to look on the for example, the industry certification program as for the TVET, to make sure that, you know, this is basically the market driven and this is industry relevant certification should be embedded to the technical institution or the academic institutions. Yeah. Okay, let me move on. This basically the typical TVET system to the next slide. Yeah. The TVET system typically in Malaysia, of course, we start the TVET educations at the I can see at the lower secondary levels. They call it the Pendidikan Asas Vocational. I'm quite sure that more of the schools they have this kind of program, or they call it the basic vocational education, maybe 2 or 3 years, yeah, before actually they sit for the exam. And then once actually they go to the upper secondary levels, equivalent to Form 4 or Form 5, you know, the students might take the Sijil Vocational Malaysia, the SVM, or also maybe the Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia or SKM, yeah. And then move up the ladder. This basically the things that normally actually at the institution like GMI or even IKM, ETAC, ILP provide, that we providing the diploma vocational at the school, or even the proper diploma in engineering technologies, yeah, provided by institution like the college community, polytechnics, yeah. To certain polytechnic also they provide at the up to the advanced diploma. And then move up the ladder, of course, we have the technical universities in Malaysia. We have the MTON, yeah, the 4 universities. On top of that, we have University Kuala Lumpur, for example, yeah, and then a couple of more, few more private universities are providing this technical education also. Yeah, this basically roughly the levels of educations as far as the TVET is concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a very good academic progression plan. You can see, I think it is quite clear. I just want to give a few messages here to the audience. Maybe you have siblings or you yourself is interested in this. Maybe you have brothers and sisters also, or even your kids, yeah, the SPM leavers. Just want to give this message that the SPM leavers or the graduates should know how TVET can increase their employability and help them to or rather on the path to professional development. So this is great, and the students should not disregard TVET as an option because the skills required in many disciplines for TVET. I believe Prof will go through further on what are the disciplines that is ready or rather being offered, so that this can open up many job opportunities. Therefore, making them, this TVET is the hottest in the market. Okay, Prof, just want to add to that.
Thank you. If we can go to the next slide, yeah, on the landscapes of TVET education in Malaysia. Of course, we, like I did mention earlier, we have 7 ministries that handle these TVET educations. But before actually I highlight this thing, I'd like to mention in the article in New Straits Times dated 3rd of March 2020, which is this year. There are 21 public universities and 38 private universities producing about 51,000 graduates a year, but nearly 60% remain unemployed 1 year after graduations. Yeah. So this basically according to the studies in 2018 by the Ministry of Education, the Graduate Cluster Study. So there are many factors contributing to this. Of course, like probably the mismatch of skills. Maybe most academic programs are based on theory only, but not the practical in the real world. Yeah, maybe the poor language skills, probably in English, for example, or interpersonal or the communication skills. So, however, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. So those study the TVET courses may have a better chance of being employed or maybe high marketability. There are actually pathway. In fact, the marketability, they can go and get work, and also there is a clear pathway for the TVET graduates to further studies to university level, such as I did mention, like UniKL, about pure technical degree leading to Bachelor of Engineering, for example, in the 4 public universities collectively known as the MTON, or even the University Tun Razak, for example. Yeah, the MTON refer to UMP, UTEM, and also the one that it is in Johor. I also forget the previously known as a Kyoto. Yeah, the MTON universities. Yeah, so there's a clear pathway for both, in terms of marketability and also the future for them to go and further the study at the higher levels. Yeah. So if I may go to the next slide, the list of the institutions based on the ministries. I did mention 7, but I just focus on the 5 main ministries providing this TVET education. For example, like the Kementerian Pembangunan Luar Bandar or the Ministry of Rural Development, we have 270 institutions, mainly of course Giat Mara, yeah, and then we have of course GMI is only one campus here in Kajang. We have University Kuala Lumpur, we have the Mara Japan Industry Institute, we have College Kemahiran Mara, we have Institute Kemahiran Mara. All this basically is to provide the program from the certificate, professional certificate, diploma, and also degree, even to certain extent go to the even higher levels. Yeah, we have the Kementerian Belia dan Sukan, the IKBN, the Institute Kemahiran Tinggi Belia Negara. Also, we have about 20 institutions under KBS. We have under even the KPM I did mention here, college community and also the polytechnics. Yeah, 94 and also 32 colleges. Imagine this is quite big, and in fact, based on the report I studied, the employability from college community and polytechnic is very high. I think they have achieved more than 90% in terms of the employability. Yeah, and then we have also the Kementerian Sumber Manusia, the ATAC, and also the ILP. Yeah, and then also the MKPT, like I mentioned much earlier about the MTON. This basically the total institutions under the government itself, 445, and then plus another, about 500 institutions at the state level. So we are in total we have more than 1,000 institutions providing this TVET educations. Yeah.
That is only for the public, is it? Because at the beginning of the slide, I think I saw a figure something like more than 1,000. That is for private and public. So the one that you just mentioned.
Yes, correct.
So if you add up the private and also states and also at the at the ministries level, so they are more like what, 1,500?
1,000, more than 1,000.
More than 1,000?
More than 1,000. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is also back to your point about the governance. I read a report from NST. FMM calls for the setup of the commission. That was like mid last year to address the fragmentation of the TVET implementation. Any development based on the governance that you mentioned, or the request from FMM about the commission, or where is it right now?
So that's why, based on my earlier slides, I did mention this in the issues and challenges about we require the strong governance on these TVET programs. So in fact, this is high time. This is basically a good proposal even by the FMM. For the Mr. Moderator Information, FMM also sit in our board, in the GMI board. Yeah, they also sit in the board. I think this is basically the key issues to make sure that in Malaysia, if we should have a strong governance on TVET program, not to say that to put everything under one roof, but to monitor all the activities of TVET program under these 7 ministries. That will be a good initiative. I'm quite sure. I think the proposal from the private sector, we need to look this one seriously. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Prof.
Okay. So and then come back to the TVET industries. I just give some of the typical. If you can go to the next slide. The typical industries as far as TVET is concerned. Of course, we have the area like the electrical electronics engineering, the mechanical and production engineering. Yeah. civil engineering, the automotive, the environmental areas, and of course now IT and telecommunications. This is very, very important for us in the country. And also the services like the textile, apparel, the banking, finance, and also the hotel industries. This is basically the typical area that the institution are providing this TVET training. Yeah? And I'm really quite sure this particular area we can actually provide a good employability to the candidates. And in fact, we really expect, by having this, we could actually fulfill the industry requirement, basically on the demand side. Yeah. You go to the next slide. Okay, now I would like to mention a little bit on the employment issues in manufacturing. I just pick up based on the data, the one I have here. I just pick up from the MITI data. The requirement of the current statistics. I did mention about the figures here. The low skills. We have now for the local employment is about 77%. The semi-skill is about 75%, and also the high skill roughly about 18%. Yeah, this is the data based on 2018. Yeah, by MITI. So in fact, this is basically the area actually we need to look at, especially to further improve, especially the semi-skill and also the high skills areas. Yeah, for the employment. This one on the manufacturing alone. Yeah. Okay, and then if I may go to the next slide, it is on the basically that I did mention here, just to show some statistics on the migrant workers in Malaysia. If you look at here, the area that most of the migrant workers in Malaysia, the majority based on 2010 and also 2019, look at the numbers for the migrant workers involved on this one is increasing from 40% to more than 50%, almost to 50%. Yeah, on the semi-skills, the foreign worker, yeah, in the range of starting from 2010, reduced from about 70% to 14%. And for the skills area for the migrant workers is also reducing. So basically, this is a good trend for us. Yeah, that we should look at the opportunity. This area will be filled by the local workers by providing the training, the proper training or the skill set requirement through the TVET program. Yeah.
Okay, just to maybe correlate to this, Prof. The report that was done by DOSM, Department of Statistics Malaysia, and also Bank Negara Malaysia about 3 to 4 years ago, I think it echoes whatever you are putting there, except that when they talk about job creation alone, just job creation, not the total employment and all that, just job creation. 2015, the job creation, 35% only goes to local. And we talk about 65% goes to foreigners. And 2016 even reduced even further. Local only get 18.5%, and for the foreigners 81.5%. And ironically, the employment here is more on the low skill, and that also is affecting the productivity of the nation, the overall productivity, and also the labor productivity. So, but it is good to see that they are going to be efforts and initiative so that we can focus more on the local employment, especially what TVET is doing. I just want to say that. Thanks, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Yeah, that's why I said from the beginning, we do expect we could actually, by having a good number of TVET graduate, they can actually introduce new technology to our manufacturing sectors, on the services sectors, and so on, and then we can actually adapt the new technology by, through this particular program. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and then come back to this. Let me go to the next slide on the some of the maybe the positive side of the pandemic COVID-19. How actually this will affect our industries. So we look at here the beauty of this pandemic somehow has opened up the opportunity for the local worker to be part in the industries. Yeah, and from the economical point of view, of course, with tight restrictions from MKN, yeah, with the swab test compulsory for the foreign workers and so on. So in fact, basically the good option also, yeah. And then that's why I think we look at here the dependence of the migrant workers we should release this one a little bit and then focus towards the local workers. Yeah. So if I may share a little bit on our what actually maybe I come to almost to the end of my presentation or the discussions. Yeah. From what actually we do, you know, not to say that I'm promoting GMI, Mr. Moderator, but what actually we do.
No, you should, Prof.
During the pandemic COVID-19, GMI as one of the joint project between the government of Malaysia and the Germany, yeah, we come up with our own initiative as far as TVET is concerned, yeah, because of our institution. Basically, we are focusing towards electrical and also the mechanical. So we provide. If you go to the next slide. Okay, yeah, go to the next slide. So we're providing 15 program under Penjana, yeah, under a MARA program, yeah, and then currently we do have about 275 participants. In fact, we should have more participants to participate in this program. We are providing not a program for them to get a diploma or even a degree or even the certificate, but at the level of 2 or 3 months training program. Okay, for them to go and carry out certain training in the area of electrical and so mechanical, and then they can actually go on and continue and get the employability back to the industries. So we provide this kind of training, and we give assurance that all these participants will get the job once actually they completed this 2 or 3 months training here in GMI. This is part of our activity actually we carry out. Yeah. So this is basically the thing that actually we do here in next slide. We have the apprenticeship program, special program, the JDVT, the German Vocational Dual Talent Program. This is basically a special TVET program tailored between the SKM program together with AHK with German counterparts. Yeah, we have this program. And then we have also the EEP, the Ensuring Employability Program, Industrial Bootcamp, yeah, and then we have all this program, yeah, and also the competency accreditation. We provide this the industry certificate. We are getting the certification from SEDA, the Cisco, the DMG Mori, the Andres Hauser. Yeah, we have all this program to make sure once the students get some of them, they also get not only the typical certificate, but they also get the industry certificate in our program. Yeah, so that is about all. Anyway, I would like to share, as far as the to provide the future talents through TVET. Thank you very much, Riwayat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Duncan. Prof, with a lot of details on the program, TVET program. I'm trying to look at the question. So far, there's no question. So it must be very clear the message that has been given out. And okay, there's one question. Okay, this one is just a message saying thank you for sharing the
session.
This is from Mr. I am Mr. Nathan, training manager from Migrant. Thank you, Prof, for the good sharing. Yeah, okay. Any question from the participant? I don't see any question. I have a few on my own, but I'm giving the opportunity for the audience to ask first. Prof is here, very a person who's very knowledgeable about TVET. Is very intimate with it, and please ask any question that you have. Okay, I have one question from Marina Robert. Is the program open to all Malaysian? Prof, can you answer that?
The answer yes, of course. The TVET program is open to all. Yeah, not only open up to all, you know, because there is a wide range of a program, and also we have a wide range of the possibility to get the sponsorships, or the not to the maybe the not to say this only a sponsorship, and also maybe we can get some loan, you know, from various institutions to actually can provide this, like PTPN. We can get the loan from MARA and so on. Yeah, of course, it's open.
Okay, thank you, Prof, for the answer. And a few more questions coming in. Okay, now it's getting interesting. Kelayakan untuk masuk TVET program, Prof. Any can you answer that?
The if you look at the I did mention about the levels. Yeah. For example, if you talk from our perspective, normally students come to the TVET program. They are either coming in from DKM levels, diploma, after the diploma kemahiran vocational, or they can go to the proper certificate. But the normal entry level in Malaysia, it is Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia (SKM) or the SPM levels. It is basically the typical you know, the qualification to enter the TVET program in Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay, I hope that answers the question. Next question. This one is basically asking whether they could have email address so that they can connect with you, Prof. If we...
The email address is Azmi Hassan, is MIHASSAN, Azmi Hassan, and then alias gmi.edu.my.
Okay, Azmi Hassan, one word, and
yes.
At
gmi.edu.my.
.edu.my. Okay, so I hope the person who asked that, this is Venice Yi. I hope you get that. I repeat, Azmi Hassan, AZMIHASSAN @gmi.edu.my. Okay. Another question, but I'll read this from Zulkarnain Kedah. Thank you, Prof. Azmi, for sharing your experiences. My question: how many guaranteed job placement is available in your short courses? Could you also give us some examples? Prof, you get that, or you want me to read again?
Okay, can. For our Penjana program, because of this is a special program under MARA, one of the requirements, at least started by MARA, even by government, to those who actually join this particular program, they can guarantee 100% employability. Because of before actually we carry out this, we must get the letter of guarantee from the companies providing the employability to the candidates. Yeah. So in fact, we are open up this way. If you can go to our webpage in GMI, also we have this the detail of the program, how to apply, and so on this. This is a kind of job guaranteed program under Penjana, if you are referring to that programs. Yeah.
All right. I hope that answers the question. Yeah. Next one from Satya Silan Rajendran. The question is: if a company is keen to explore the module of trainings offered by GMI, how could we approach this?
Yeah, you can always contact us, and we are quite what we call familiar with this kind of arrangement. We can always go to our webpage, and then we can find. Yeah, of course, we can hook up. Sure.
So it can be done at the company as well, yeah?
Yes. In fact, for your info, the one I did mention about the JDVT program, This we call it German Vocational Dual Training Program. How actually we conduct this? The 70% of our program is carried out at the industry, in the German companies, and then only 30% of their time they are learning at our institution. Yeah, so we have we call it the 70-30 program under GDBT. In fact, the same program under the human resource, under the scheme latihan SLDN here, it's also the same arrangement that student will spend maybe about 40% or 30% in their time in the academic institution, and then the balance will spend in their industries. Basically, we have this kind of scheme also. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Prof. I hope Satya Silan, you get that message. And Marina Robert, next question: how do we apply for the program? I think this is a repeat question. Maybe Prof, you want to maybe just answer this as well.
Like I did mention here, how to apply. If you refer to the Penjana program, it is either that you can go to our own web page. We can always find the information how to go and apply this program under www.gmi.edu.my.
Okay, www.gmi.edu.my.
Yes.
Yeah. So go to the website. A lot of questions can be answered there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question, anonymous attendee. Apart from having training in manufacturing companies, do you have attachment at plantation industries or companies?
The answer is yes. We have the attachment for them even for the oil and gas industries. Yeah, we have this attachment is quite common. Oil and gas, even Petronas. Under Johor Corp Development Corporation, also we have this kind of attachment to the industries. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Next question from Azrael Azizi. Hi, Prof. Based on statistics in the slides presented, we can see 75% of companies in Malaysia preferred to hire immigrant for low-skilled employees. Indeed, we have the competent local talents that can fulfill these positions. We have our competent TVET graduates. Is MOHR looking into this issue? Are there a major reason why MNCs are not hiring our local talents?
Yeah, okay. This is two issues. Normally, at least quite common for us to go and discuss. This is about one is about the salary. Yeah, in fact, I also did mention this in our discussions at the higher level to look at, why actually some of the companies prefer to employ because of the wage. And this basically the thing that we need to look in. The salary is one of the issues. The second, basically, the skill set. I did mention much earlier. We need to look at whether the skill set that the institutions in Malaysia providing it will fulfill the industry needs. That's why I think this side we need to make sure that the commitment from both sides, the industry and also on the government, to really look at the gap, yeah, to make sure that we can actually improve and provide the actual skills required by the industries. And I did also mention in the future, this also becomes more and more critical, yeah, because of some of the technology will change very fast, and then we need to make sure also the institution providing the TVET institution also are ready to provide this kind of training. Yeah, and then in fact we also get some feedback. Some of the multinational companies also, they might prefer to take the foreign workers because of to make sure that they have the skill set fulfilled. This is basically the thing that we need to look at. But as far as from our institutions, yeah, like GMI or a lot more, I think we are as much as possible we try to provide the best what they call solutions, not to say top one, but at least can solve some of the expectation from the industries.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go to one comment here. It's actually in the chat and not in the Q&A, but this is from Arnathan Raman. Hi, I'm Arnathan, training manager from Migrant. Thank you, Prof, for the good sharing. What is the common TVET durations for training, and what will be the qualification needed for everyone to enroll into this program? Do the students get any allowance in this program?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Nathan, Training Manager Migrant. Like I did mention, we have, if we talk about the certificate, normally for the TVET program, the duration is normally in the range of 1 year to 2 years, yeah, for them to get the certificate. And for them to get the diploma in the engineering technology, normally they spend in the range of 2.5 years to 3 years, yeah. And if they go to further the study at the degree level, yeah, sometimes we call it the Bachelor of Engineering Technology, they need to spend another 4 years. So in total, after SPM, they will spend about the same time like the typical universities, in the range of 3 to 5 years before actually they can get the degree. The entry qualification, like I did mention much earlier, vocational training, if they come in from SKM 3 or Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia, yeah, level 3 or even after SPM, yeah, with 3 to 4 credit, that's already good enough already. 3 credit SPM is already good enough, yeah, to enter the TVET program, and then they spend another 3 to 4 years to get either diploma or the degree. Yeah. Is that? I hope that I can answer correctly.
Okay, I hope that answers Mr. Nathan, yeah? Mr. Nathan input. Yeah, he said yes, thank you. Okay, a few more questions. This one is from Muhammad Farhan Muhammad Din. Salam, Prof. As we are all aware that the previous TVET program, such as the 5 clusters, TVET Empowerment Committee, etc., has been suspended in view of the policy by the new government. How do we make sure the continuity of such efforts that has been put in place for the past years, or are we going to start all over again?
Of course, I wouldn't be able to go and comment much on the what they call the previous government and so on. But as far as TVET is concerned, even the academic institution or even technical institution, in fact, we don't change. We are still focused. We know what we are doing, right? Even the area is still there. The way forward, as far as TVET is concerned, we still continue, right? I think the 5 classes for me is only more of the definition about how actually we're going to classify this. But the requirements, the TVET, to make sure that we can go and support the industry is still there and become still relevant to the country is basically important, and we will continue. Yeah, we will continue. Except, of course, like I did mention, the expectation in terms of the student enrollment still very low. We haven't achieved our main target. Previously, in fact, we are targeting about 220,000 students by the year of 2020, but we haven't. I think we're still far behind to achieve these particular targets overall in Malaysia. I think we're working very hard to make sure that we can fulfill this area, to make sure that we can support the skills area and high skill area, the one that is required by the country.
Right, thank you, Prof. Yeah, okay. If the Secretariat can put on back the slides, but I'll take question first. I have a question that I need to use the slide, but I will read the question from the participants first, the attendees first. Yeah, okay. So since you have it on, can you go to the 3rd slide, please? Yeah, this one. Okay, Prof, I just need to get some insight from you. We can see on the slide here, this is the 11th Malaysia Plan on TVET. As we know, the 11th Malaysia Plan is at the tail end of the period already, 2016-2020, and we are now moving into the 12th Malaysia Plan. And the 12th Malaysia Plan centered around shared prosperity with focus on economic empowerment, environmental sustainability, social re-engineering, and stuff like that. Yeah. So maybe you can give, we can verbalize a bit about the 12th Malaysia Plan as far as TVET is concerned, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. As far as the RMK 12, of course, I did, because this is on the 11th Malaysia Plan. For RMK 12, I think the government are still committed. And then, in fact, this is only the process of to enhance the existing plan from RMK 11 to RMK 12. In fact, if you look at the strategic under the Ministry of Human Resource, they still maintain. If I may read the information from the RMK 12 document, yeah, they still say memantapkan TVET yang diterajui industri. It means that the industry need to come in also. Yeah, they come out with, if I can mention this one in the one I mentioned in Malay, ya, menyelaraskan program-program TVET yang ditawarkan oleh 7 kementerian bagi memastikan semua program tersebut diiktiraf, ya. And then cadangan kerajaan untuk mengambil tenaga pengajar bagi program TVET hanya yang diiktiraf oleh SIAS. It means that, of course, all the TVET program we have to what they call attend this training. They provide this special budget to all the TVET provider to attend this certification under SIAS, dan juga di Kementerian Sumber Manusia, ya, perlu memaklumkan kepada agensi yang terlibat supaya hanya tenaga pengajar yang diiktiraf diambil, ya, untuk dipertimbangkan. Ya, of course they should have their degree and so on. Ya. And then Kementerian Sumber Manusia memberi peluang kepada pakar-pakar industri yang telah dibubarkan pada 2019 tersebut yang mempunyai pengalaman lebih 10 tahun untuk terlibat dalam bidang TVET. Yeah. And at the same time, also kerajaan akan melihat this system latihan dual national, the one I mentioned earlier, the SLDN, yeah. And also for the case of GMI, we have the JDVT program is similar to the SLDN scheme. So this is basically the commitment of the government, yeah, as far as the TVET is concerned in Malaysia. So we still committed. We call this the plan for TVET for RMK 12, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. I have 3 more questions here. You please put forth your question. So I have 3 here. I'll be reading one of them now. From an anonymous attendee, how about executive level career in MNC? Some companies pay well for the expatriates. Sad to see that we have our local talents that just graduated but cannot fill in those vacancies. Any comment, Prof, on this one?
Okay, this is common questions. You know, the MNC, they prefer some of the expatriate, but like I said, you know, the expatriate is still required in Malaysia. We cannot run away from that because of certain skill set. You know, we won't be able to go and provide this. We have to accept the fact. But at the same time, also for our local graduate, in fact, I can see this is not necessary from the TVET education, but it's coming from even from the universities. We need to have the proper academic institution. At the same time, also, I really encourage the local graduate, not only once actually they get their degree, yeah, or even their masters is not enough. They have to go to the proper or more professional qualification, for example, like IR. We need to get a register to the Board of Engineer, to get registered even with MBOD. You know, this is basically quite important in terms of to make sure that the recognition by the industries is there, not only for the local recognition, but also the international recognition. Also, this is quite important. So I really encourage that what do you call this? Our local graduates should look into this, and at the same time also, you know, the opportunity for our local graduate to look at the opportunity to work to multinational companies overseas, our neighboring countries, even in Thailand or even in Singapore or even in Indonesia, yeah, to actually build the skill set, you know.
Okay, thanks,
that
Prof.
will answer your questions.
Yeah, I think that's is quite difficult question to answer, because we cannot just give one answer, just like silver bullet to answer all questions. This with this regards, because different companies will have different requirements and the specific skill set of the different companies we don't really understand. But I just want to cite a newspaper report by Bernama. This was in September last year. The title is "Lack of Local Talent in Critical Areas Impeding GDP." Okay, so it says here many jobs remain difficult to fill despite ongoing recruitment effort. This is from ILMIA. ILMIA is the Institute for Labor Market Information and Analysis. This is ILMIA, and they also mentioned that a government labor agency has raised a red flag over what it describes as a growing problem for employers in finding skilled workers to fill position in the manufacturing and service sector. As we know, manufacturing and service sector contributes to most to the our country's GDP. It says here, these include information, communication, and technology managers, mathematicians, actuaries, and statisticians, machineries and equipment, and advanced engineering professional, and policy and planning managers. I mean, the list goes on, software developers, auditors, financial analysts, computer network professional, so these are all short in supply. I also want to read another newspaper cutting. This one is in January, or rather, excuse me, in February 2019. This is Job of the Future, Top 5 Emerging Careers. So this one, they are looking at the top 5 emerging careers as data scientist, robotic engineer, physiotherapist, certified accountant, and digital marketer. So, Prof, you may want to comment a bit as far as the top 5 emerging careers here that mentioned: data scientist, robotic engineer, physiotherapist, certified account, and digital marketer. Will TVET take care of this as well?
Okay, this is very tough question, Mr. Moderator. But anyway, I try my best to answer. The strategic move actually we should do, I did mention even in my slide, in order to move forward from the TVET program. We cannot run away for us to have some strategic international partnerships with certain countries. This is basically very important. In fact, based on my personal experience when I was involved in this microchip project, I did mention, introduced by Mr. Moderator about the RFID project, radio frequency identifications. When I was involved way back in 2005, one of the strategic government project. Actually, we don't have local talents towards this. So I was working with the designer based in design house based in Japan. At the same time, also we need to go and manufacture. We don't have the local companies can actually provide this skill set. I have to go and approach the companies, I cannot name it now, based in Korea, to actually provide this strategic microchip project with Korean partnerships. So what I try to say is that in order to solve this particular problem, we need to look at or to have the strategic international partnership with certain countries. This is very important. And then at the same time also the second strategy that we need to also look at on the I did mention in my slide also on the strategic human capital development with advanced countries. We might have what I call offer the collaboration with at the university level, but we also need to have the strategic partnerships with the advanced countries at the industry levels. We might have some multinational companies here, but most of the multinational companies, they are coming to Malaysia to mainly, to provide the job, but they actually, or maybe have very minimal numbers of the engineers or even the technicians and so on being sent to the home country, even in US or UK or even in Japan or even in Korea, to stay there for a number of years to make sure they can acquire this kind of skill set in advanced countries. So these are the things that actually we need to look at. The international partnerships and at the same time also on the technology side, on the technical side, excuse me, and the other one on the strategic human capital development at the industry level. I would imagine this thing we need to do. Yeah, of course, but this is not something very easy to solve because of this to go to very higher level decisions anyway. Like I did mention, once actually we involve the industry 4.0, we are talking about the interconnected systems, and also we cannot run away. Mr. Moderator mentioned about the robotics. This is basically also my area. I was trained on the artificial intelligence way back in almost 30 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I was writing the program for the neural network and also the intelligent optimization. That was 30 years ago on algorithms.
Interesting.
That particular time, the whole thing actually we don't see it being applied to the industry yet. We are writing the program for the neural networks, for example. We are writing program for intelligent optimization, like we call it genetic algorithm. All this is the things that under the artificial intelligence. But now we see that this thing, is already in industry. People are using it and apply it. And of course, I can say that this skill set already exists in the industry, but this is basically the challenge. How to provide this, because of at our time, 30 years ago, we are doing this at the PhD level. Now we have to scale down this particular knowledge at the PhD level to TVET, to the certificate or even to degree level. It's not an easy process actually. So
Sure.
we need to go and simplify a lot of things, on terms of how to do the programming, how to develop the algorithms. This is not an easy process, but basically the challenge. But the commitments towards this, we need to have what they call a special, serious parties to really involve and really understand this particular technology to solve. The same thing, even the robotics. Actually, when we write the program, this is a pure, I can say the pure mechanization program, mechanization systems. But there's no elements of mechanization, means like still a mechanical system. But now we talk about the robotics, there's elements of sensors. There's an element interconnected between the robot are working together and they are talking to each other. This is basically the area, maybe 20, 30 years ago, all this basically at the research level, a very high level. But now people are talking this, at the lab level only, at TVET level. But to translate this knowledge is not an easy process. Yeah,
Sure.
but people can go talk robotics, artificial intelligence. Sometimes I myself personally also a question: do they know actually what they are talking about? To translate this particular. Of course, now the AI is people are talking about this, but to look at the knowledge, the algorithm behind it, there are thousands of what they call program behind it to support all this knowledge actually.
Yeah, and the rate of change also is very, very fast. So
sure,
to keep up with it also is also a challenge. Okay, thanks, Prof. Okay, there are a few more questions. This question is also being answered. Which accreditation board that accredited TVET program? So that was from Sukairul Nizam Abdul Razak, but it was answered by Azmi Mat. Azmi Mat answered that agencies that accredit the TVET program is MQA, JPK, and board. Prof, you want to add some more, or these three are the only three?
Yes, I agree. Of course, all programs in Malaysia, all programs, if you offer a diploma degree, a certificate must get the certification from MQA. This is compulsory. Yeah, and then of course, mention about the MBOT. Another one, of course, maybe this basically just started from about 2 years ago. The Board of Engineers also did recognize the program TVET, especially at the engineering technology levels. They also include the engineering technology as one of the certifications under the BEM also. Yeah. So it means that the career levels, the moment actually the student graduated, not through the pure engineering, but under engineering technology, they can also register as the graduate under engineering technology, and then from there they can actually apply to improve their knowledge and their design skill, and then they can become the graduate engineer. And then from there, with a proper training and certification, and also work and so on, and then they can apply for the professional engineer like IR and so on. Yeah, of course, the career path I think is very clear for TVET students anyway. So we have a clear pathway in Malaysia, and of course even internationally, the Board of Engineers also, as far as the engineering technology, like we aware, we also following the Sydney Accord. Yeah, Sydney Accord. So it means that we are internationally recognized program.
Okay, thank you. Next one from anonymous attendee. May I know how can we send our employees for TVET training? I think this has been answered, but Prof, you want to add some more to it, or?
Yeah, of course, like I did mention, you can always, in order to find out the TVET program, you can go to our webpage. Yeah, this is sometimes this basically the question, so that there is no one central body to monitor this TVET, because we have TVET from various ministries. Yeah, then we have to go the 5 ministries what I mentioned here. Even you go to the Ministry of Rural Development, you can find the TVET under KPLB or Rural Development. We have TVET program under the Kementerian Belia dan Sukan. We have TVET under the KPM, yeah, especially on the college community and also the polytechnics. This is quite huge setup also under TVET, I believe. And then we have the TVET under the Kementerian Sumber Manusia. This is also another big setup for TVET program, and also under the Kementerian Pengajian Tinggi, the Ministry of Higher Education, especially for the MTON. We have various what they call TVET program on various ministry. We can always search from the respective ministry. Yeah. But anyway, if you're interested to go and find out our program in GMI, you can always go to our webpage www.gmi.edu.my. We can always guide from there.
All right. Okay, thanks, Prof. Next question from anonymous attendee. Skill apa yang high demand untuk masa yang akan datang? Prof, you want to add to whatever I've mentioned? There is this what do you call news on the top 5 emerging careers. They are data scientists, robotic engineers, physiotherapists, certified accountant, and digital marketer. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, of course. Based on my knowledge and so on, of course, I have to agree on that. This is basically the emerging areas. Is very important areas. But if I may simplify it, the job in the future mainly focusing towards this all this word data scientists. If I may simplify, anything related to computing work, yeah, and anything related to the technology work. This is basically the job in the future, as easy as that. Yeah. And
of course, technology, digitalization, that's what you meant, right, Doc?
Yeah, this is the area, you know, to make it simple.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Next one. There's a request. Can we have the slide? Okay. Is that okay to share the slide with the participant, Prof? Or actually, what MPC does in this webinar, they record and they will post that in YouTube, and you would be able to watch again the webinar and take a look at the slides again in the YouTube. So you go to MPC YouTube, you'll be able to do that. So I think that's better, and not only the slides, but you also have the what do you call the discussion, the explanation, and the explanation, the what do you call elaboration about the slides and all that. So I hope that's okay with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
The other one, thank you, Prof, for the information. I just want to say thank you also, Prof. Then the other one, Assalam, Prof. This is from Ahmad Farid Yaakob. Assalam Prof, macam mana kami nak hantar kaki tangan kami untuk meningkatkan kemahiran mereka? This one is too generic, but Prof, you may choose to answer this.
Yeah, like Edith mentioned, if you need from my side, you can always email to us, yeah, or go to our webpage. Yeah, I think the best basically if you can email to question by Ahmad Farid, you can always email to me, yeah, and then I can direct you, to get the proper training. Like I mentioned, as far as GMI is concerned, we focus in the area of the electrical electronics and also on the mechanical and productions area. Yeah, of course, but any other questions, I can always direct to the respective bodies and so on. It should be okay. You can email or even go to our webpage.
Okay, I will type the Prof email in the chat section. It's Azmi Hassan at GMI, I'm typing now, .edu.my. So that is the email address. I hope you can see in the chat section. Any more questions? Because we have depleted all the questions. Any question at all? Let me look at the chat area. The chat talks about the minimum qualification is past SPM, and also depends on the program. The remaining depends on the program. And then Mr. Arnathan mentioned great initiative from the ministry. Okay, and Encik Azmi Mat put the YouTube link for you if you want to view this later on. Okay, so all right, I don't see any. Let me see any more question. One more question, just a moment. Okay, just talking about the slide I just mentioned. All right,
Prof. Yes, Sugu here, Tadi.
Yeah. Go ahead,
One
Mr. Sugu.
question to you, Prof. Prof mentioned that the government intend to produce 230,000 skilled graduates by 2020. Yeah, but unfortunately, we didn't achieve the target.
Okay.
Can I know what the reason or challenges to achieve that target?
Okay. Challenges. I did mention, Mr. Tuguma, thank you very much for your question. I think this is the main challenge because of, I think one of the worry part, because one is the salary and the other one basically the parents also sometimes, can influence their children and so on to go and TVET because they might think that this TVET is very difficult areas. They might go to something easy program to further their studies. Yeah. So in fact, we should actually put up this TVET to make sure that this basically the good program, the good prospect. We have to really push this agenda. To the nation to make sure that we have some interest by the students or by the candidates and so on. We have to work along that line, Mr. Suguma. Yeah.
Okay, I agree with you, Prof. Because why? To increase the take-up rate of TVET education system, the mindset change amongst parents must be there. TVET is not less than what other academic qualification talking about. TVET talking about your skill, and under the TVET, under the COVID-19 impact, as you mentioned, Prof, yes, the employability among TVET is higher than other academic employability.
Yes.
So the times has come that, as you mentioned, as like Tuaji mentioned, the 5 future jobs, all talking about digitalization. Okay, and talking about reskilling and upskilling. So it's not talking about how we transform and change our mindset to make sure that the future graduate must be very careful when they take their academic qualification and so on. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Suguma. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I have one more question here from Sharon Kimby. Hi, Prof. Are there any plans from the government to enhance the collaboration between industries and TVET institutions?
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, I can say, the answer is yes. Answer is yes. In fact, uh, how actually we develop the TVET curriculum also will involve the industries. They are sit down together, the industries and also the academic section. We have to, they are there to move. Except the issues now, sometimes the commitment from both sides to make sure that this one can be implemented fully. This thing that sometimes it can be a challenge also, because industry, they are basically busy. We cannot expect them to come and give the input all the time. Yeah. So, but the commitment, I think we need to strengthen. That's why I mentioned much earlier in my slide. The commitment is very, very critical for us.
Okay, thanks. I don't see any more question here. Sure, no more question from participant. We have good participant. Okay, here, what is the percentage of participant from Sabah and Sarawak? What participation? You're talking about the TVET participation. Cheng Mui Fa. I believe that is the TVET participation. Yeah. You have any number to that, Prof? The number of percent of participation from Sabah and Sarawak?
I wouldn't be able to go and answer because I do not have the demographic data to show the participation from Sabah and Sarawak. But of course, this is for the whole Malaysia. I think this is important. Yeah, irrespective of whether this Sabah or Sarawak, we must come together. But even in GMI, of course, we do have about 10% of our students coming from Sabah and Sarawak to join us. Yeah, but I don't have the number for the whole nations.
Okay, so you mentioned about 10%, yeah?
10% of our students from to GMI registered, they are coming from Sabah.
This is only GMI, not the TVET as a whole.
Not TVET as a whole, but for our institutions. Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So I hope that answers your question.
But I can mention, see that this you are coming from Sabah. I can proudly last year, our the best students for GMI, the one that get the award at the best mathematics in A levels. Yeah, the student come from Sarawak, the best student in the world actually for mathematics. They're coming from Sarawak. Yeah,
that's great.
Yes.
Okay. Also, continuation question from Cheng Mui Fa. What are the TVET facilities? What are the TVET facilities available in Sarawak and Sabah? I think the question is basically any facilities for TVET in Sabah and Sarawak, Prof?
The center, if I may mention, in Sarawak, they have the Sarawak Development Center. I'm not sure about in Sabah, but for the case of Sarawak, we do have this very active TVET center. The Sarawak, if I can get the contact, I can always give the contact person. In Sarawak Development Center is one of the active TVET provider for the Sarawakian. Yeah.
Is this information available in the TVET website?
I'm yet to find out anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe Cheng Mui Fa could check that in the website. TVET, you type TVET Malaysia, then you'll be able to find a lot of information there. I'm not sure whether Sabah and Sarawak facilities are there, but there are quite a bit of information inside there if you want to get to know about TVET better. Okay, one more question. This from Azmi Mat. What is the percentage of companies that has adopted IR 4.0? I think it's very difficult question to answer. But Prof, you want to attempt to answer this?
I don't have the exact figure. Actually, the industry 4.0, as far as industry is concerned, this is nothing new. A lot of the multinational companies actually they already adopt, but that particular time they don't call this industry 4.0. They are just call it this internet networking, the IoT and so on. Yeah.
Right.
But in Malaysia, based on the FMM informations, they are seeing in terms of adoptions of this industry 4.0 still less than 15% actually, less than 15% in Malaysia overall.
Right.
Yeah, this is still considered like very low. We have a lot of rooms to improve this.
Yeah, about 1 year ago, I did a presentation in Cambodia about IR 4.0 as far as Malaysia is concerned. The adoption among the MNC is much higher compared to SME. If you look at the report, the readiness and the adoption of IR 4.0 in Malaysia, it can be quite high. But the thing is that if you were to apportion that out between MNC and also SME, MNC definitely is much higher, but SME is lag much behind. So that I hope I could answer that in a very general term like that. But if you want to get the exact percentage, I don't have that like what Prof answer as well. I don't have that exact number. But if you were to look at MNC and also SME is way behind. Even though if you look at country by country, you were to rank country by country, Malaysia is quite high up as far as the adoption of IR 4.0. However, that high number is attributed to more of MNC rather than SME. I hope I can answer in that way, generally. You agree with me, Prof?
Yeah, I agree. Yes, agree. Yes.
All right. Okay. Another question from Azmi Mat. Okay, we have some time. So we can answer this. Yeah, before we conclude the session. For final year project, does GMI students work in groups of several students from different discipline? Let me read it again. I can't make out. Yeah. For final year project, does GMI students work in groups of several students from different discipline? Oh, okay. This asking whether in the final year, whether the student from different disciplines, various disciplines, congregate together to work on a project or something like that. As far as GMI is concerned, Prof.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Azmimat. The final project of FYP, because in GMI, I think we are quite specialized. We have electrical program, and then we have the mechanical. And most of the students, they are either work in groups of 3 to 4 students in a group. They have to come up with what we call working project or industry project, right? But mainly, the students are coming from the electrical or mechatronics or even on IT. Yeah, they are mainly coming from the same group because we don't have much choice. So, and then the students coming from the mechanical productions on metal work and so on. Normally, they are formed in the groups of students coming from that particular disciplines. But at the moment, we don't cross the inter-department at the moment. Yeah, no. But of course, they are working in the groups of 3 to 4 students per
same discipline.
Per groups, yes, on the same disciplines. But they must come up with a working, what they call industrial working projects.
All right, Prof. Thanks. Question from Cheng Munifa. How many % of the TVET graduates are planned for oil palm plantation every year, and what are the numbers like? I don't know whether we have that number, Prof. You want me to repeat that question?
Okay.
How many % of the TVET graduates are planned for oil palm plantations every year, and what are the numbers like?
Based on my presentations just now, I think the area of the oil palm considered very small. Yeah, I think on this the oil palm, of course, we talk the actual oil palm. If we talk about the mechanizations to automate some of the processes in oil palm, I can say yes, big, but still focus in the area of automation and the mechanization we have. Yeah, but we don't have a special program for the oil palm per se. In fact, I don't have the informations, the special program on this area, but normally it's coming to the general applications, on this area. But I as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that we have a special program mainly for the oil palm alone. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, Prof. Thanks. I don't see any more question. Wait, this one, can we collaborate GMI on TVET program? Okay, this one is in the chat, chat section from Sukairul Nizam Abdul Razak. The question is, can we collaborate with GMI on TVET program that we can offer to our students too? I believe maybe Mr. Sukairul is from another institution, but the question is, can we collaborate with GMI on TVET program that we can offer to our students too?
Yeah, these very open questions.
Yeah.
Very open questions. I can say the answer is yes, but depend on the area, what kind of collaboration that we need to do, because we have a number of collaborations. Either this is referring to the academic collaboration or even the industry collaborations. Yeah, like I did mention, as far as GMI is concerned, we are offering the Diploma of Engineering Technology. We are working with quite a number of the universities in Malaysia locally, or even our partner university in German. Yeah, we have that. Yeah, and at the same time also we have quite a number of industries are working closely with us. Yeah, to work out certain consultancy project, of course, but depend. If we have your own students require some of the skill set that we actually can provide, I can say why not. I think we are open. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay. I don't see any more question. I think we are coming to an end. But before we end, I would like to ask Prof. IR Dr. Azmi to share with us his thought, or a parting remark to the audience, and maybe whoever that's going to watch the YouTube later on. Or any message, any final message that you want to give as far as this developing future talent through TVET, Prof?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Like I did mention, we thank you very much for MPC for giving me the opportunity to share in this webinar on this, especially to discuss the future talents through TVET. We believe, like I did mention much earlier, hopefully by offering this TVET program, we can, improve the employability of our local students in the industries. That's actually one of the important message. And then the other message I think is quite important, even for us. We are committed to provide the latest technology, the latest know-how as far as TVET is concerned. And at the same time, of course, we also need to improve. I think the commitment from industry and as a commitment from the government are there, to make sure that we can fulfill both sides, either on industry and also on the supply side, which is referred to the academic institution or even the technical institutions. Yeah. So thank you very much for Mr. Hidayat and also the MPC giving me the opportunity. Thank you again.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Okay, I think he has been, I'm sure he has been a very insightful sharing from Prof. We have covered quite a bit of ground as far as developing future talent through TVET. Yeah.
There's a few questions coming in from the.
Oh, ada lagi question?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, just a moment. Let me open it up.
Right.
Oh, two more questions. Okay, you are not.
I'm okay.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. we don't get let off easy. Okay. So this question is from Azmi Mat. What is the difference between MSI, MFI, and GMI? Yeah. Okay. You mentioned about this yesterday, so maybe you want to repeat this as well.
The MSI, thank you very much, Mr. Azmi Ahmad. The MSI is referred to Malaysia Spanish Institute. MFI is the Malaysia French Institute. GMI is the German Malaysia Institute. MSI and MFI is a part of the University Kuala Lumpur. GMI is basically is a standalone institution still under Mara. Both GMI and University Kuala Lumpur still under MARA, but for GMI, because of we have our partnerships, the Malaysia German Chamber of Commerce with us. So it's basically it's partly owned between MGCC and also the MARA, but the MSI and MFI is part of the University of Kuala Lumpur. This is a wholly owned institutions or the universities under MARA also. But if you talk about the focus, the MSI, they are focusing towards program towards mainly on the automotive, for the mechanical manufacturing, and also on the electrical, mechatronics towards the automotive. The MFI, they are focusing towards the building automations, mechatronics. Mainly it is on this area, but now they are also exploring in the area of the water, water technology also for the MFI. But they have a good collaboration with the French universities and so on. Yeah. So the GMI, like you mentioned, we started off the institutions focusing towards the production technology and also on the industrial technology, but now we call it mechanical and electrical, mainly to support the manufacturing and services industries. Yeah. So all these basically is the highly technical institutions. Yeah. We don't have a soft skill program like business schools and so on. But if you need to, if you're interested on the business school and so on, you can have other institutions. Yeah, so that is basically I can answer briefly like that. So like my team, because I also involved in GMI and also from the MSI.
Right, thanks, Prof. One more question from.
One question, yeah.
Yeah, one more question from Yusuf Ahmad. Does GMI collaborate also with JPK regarding on TVET?
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. Yeah, of course, the answer yes. JPK, like I mentioned, in fact, the JPK also they have the representative seat in our board also. And at the same time, like I mentioned, we have the JDVT program, the German dual vocational program. JPK is the one that providing the certification for our JDVT program together with our German counterpart. Yeah. So of course they are working together with us, of course.
All right. No more question and no more chat as well. So should I hand it over to Mr. Sugu?
Yes, yes. Okay. I think people have asked so many questions. I think thank you, Tuan Haji, and also Professor.
Yeah, there's one more. If you want to read, you allow me to read, Mr. Sugu, one more from anonymous attendee. We have time. We have time. Okay. Sorry that I missed the two just now because I already closed that one. And when Mr. Sugu mentioned, then I opened it back. Yeah. Okay. This one is from anonymous attendee. Looking at current situation post COVID-19, I don't think we are post COVID yet, but you can call it post because we had pre. Yeah, looking at current situation post COVID-19, many are impacted. Can students from private go to GMI? I don't know.
Yeah, you mean the private students or?
Yeah, these are talking about from private colleges, and can these students go to GMI? Yeah.
Yeah, we are open anyway. So if anybody interested to come and look at the opportunity to study here in GMI, we are open. We are very open. Yeah, as long as they can, meet our minimum qualifications to enter GMI, like I did mention earlier. We have students either coming from SKM, the Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia level 3, or if they have the SPM, they can also enter GMI to further their studies. Yeah, of course.
All right. No more question. I keep on saying that, yeah, but this
we still accept any question on the way. We still accept answer the question.
when we are going to end their questions. Oh, their questions are welcome. It's just that I missed that too just now. Okay, I can pass to Mr. Sugu now.
Okay. Thank you, Tuan Haji, and also thank you, Professor. And thank you all the participants who are attending this session with the title of Developing Future Talent through TVET. I think creating your developing future talent is very, very important to make sure that the new generation can be employable to all the market on business environment and so on. And today we had a very challenging, informative and productive session. A lot of information was shared by Professor and also was supported by Tuan Haji. And we received a lot of questions that really give insight on TVET. You know, last time people don't know what TVET all about. Now with this sharing session, I think TVET has come to a picture whereby it become more and more important, because why graduate from TVET sector are more employable rather than to other academic sector. And as we mentioned by Tuan Haji, the future jobs all talk about digitalization. And a lot of talking about, so with the impact of COVID-19, Prop and Tuan Haji, people go for digital. You know, work from home, productive from anywhere. The meeting like this never happened before.
Right.
You know,
right.
very rare people have this go to meeting, you know, webinar and so on. Very rare people listen about webinar. All talking about physical contact, you know, you go to hotel, attend a seminar for 20, 30, 100 people, okay, but no new business.
Adoption is accelerating, yeah? Adoption is accelerating.
Yes, yes. It's new normal economy, you know, actually talking about. We still stuck under MCO, but we still productive. We still engage each other. We still share the information what needed by the public and all the industry. I think so. In NPC, we try our best to share whatever we can share by engaging our stakeholders. It can be private, government sectors, whatever, and we share to the public. And on behalf of NPC, we would like to thank our two distinguished guests, Tuan Haji as a moderator, and Professor for sharing his insight on the TVET, and also for all the distinguished guests and also all the participants who have shared this session. Hope you can get some important, valuable information on this session. So with that, I would like to end the session. Thank you to Professor and Tuan Haji.
Thank you.
And thank you all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you
and happy Deepavali,
Mr. Sugama.
Yeah. Okay,
Happy
thank
Deepavali
you.
to all
Thank you.
Hindus. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Tuan Haji. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Okay.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.